Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. All right. Let's see. Welcome to today's live stream. All right. Let's see. Welcome to. All right. So I have confirmed that we have audio and we're ready to get started. We're ready to go. So I have my notes that I have kept as we started our content creation. I'm revisiting and reminding myself of the journey so far, then versus now. So as you can see from the topic, today's topic, we're discussing what I now know, or what I know now, and what I'll do differently if I started YouTube in 2026. So beautiful people, welcome to today's live stream. This is part of my daily live stream challenge. For the month of February, we are being intentional. We are being strategic in content creation, and we are showing up every single day, talking about consistency, talking about the discipline or the power between motivation and discipline. What keeps you going and what keeps you motivated? So we're revisiting this topic of what this content creation journey really looks like. And if I was to start a YouTube channel here in 2026, what are the lessons that I have already learned, the wisdom that I want to share with you, beautiful people, so that you can also gain one or two skills, um, so that you can be strategic and be and do something differently about this content creation. So welcome. I am a Kenyan YouTuber living here in small town USA, bridging the gap between my Kenyan heritage and my hybrid American experience. So welcome to today's live stream. The time right now is 10:19 p.m. Here in small town Virginia. Of course, as you see right there, yeah, we're repping Kenya 24/7. Kenya comes first, then the diaspora second. So yeah, so we're about to get into something that we've been meaning to do for a while, going back to where it all started and being really, really honest about what I would do different. So I don't know if you are sipping something. I have my water here because we're gonna be talking a lot. So I'm gonna get thirsty. I'm gonna have to wake up and stretch a little bit. So go ahead and grab your popcorn. Go ahead and get that favorite beverage or libation of yours as we are starting here in a few minutes, as we're trying to see who else is here in the live stream. Let's see if we have our setup ready to make sure that we have uh, comments coming in. So the way I have it set up right now is basically I have a computer that is showing me what's going on in front of me. So if you comment, I can read that and we can engage here. And I also want to make sure that my Kenyan flag is in the background. And I have a couple of my notes that I took. So this right here is my notebook for content creation of writing ideas or coming down with how we approach content creation. So as we've talked about in previous live streams, we are being strategic. We have hit the 1,000 mark of our subscribers, which we want to say thank you to each and every one of you beautiful, beautiful subscribers, to our beautiful family that is growing, that is joining us every single day. And if this is your first time here and you are watching us for the first time, welcome. Join the Chacha Unlimited community. Guys, we are building a tribe of storytellers, a tribe of change makers. We are moving the needle and boldly pushing from being on the spectators on the sidelines to being participants, being the ones that are telling about our stories about the African diaspora, about Black excellence, about moving with intentionality, creating with purpose, with creativity, and making sure that we are moving with purpose and growth on a road to success. These YouTube streets are not easy. So this is if you're tuning in here wanting to get that inspiration, wanting to get that wisdom, then definitely, this is a space for you. So we're going to be dropping some nuggets, some wisdom of what we have learned so far. We have been on this content creation for a hot minute. It's taken us about 18 months, a year and a half to get to 1,000 subscribers. But we've also been intentional with this journey, with this content creation. So we're going to kind of be breaking down some of those nuggets, some of those things that we have learned along these YouTube streets, along collaboration, along the lines of figuring out what works and what doesn't work. By no means, I am not an expert in content creation, so don't say that, hey, I watched your vlog, I watched your live stream, and I haven't blown up yet, I haven't done anything. As I mentioned, it's taken me a year and a half to gain 1,000 subscribers. So we're truly, truly grateful for each and every one of you, our beautiful, beautiful community that is supporting us, that is helping us to grow on a journey, on this journey, on the road to success. And I always say in my vlogs that it's not the destination that counts, it's the journey. So I want to welcome you. So come on along, join our community. This is also an opportunity for you to engage, to ask questions, to leave a comment, and be a part of this conversation and be a part of this discussion. But this is part of our daily live stream challenge. So I see that we have one of you beautiful, beautiful, amazing souls, beautiful subscribers here already that has given us a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for the like. Drop your comment. Let us know where you are watching from. We are truly grateful for each and every one of you beautiful people. And we are here because of you. You are the beautiful people that are helping us to grow on the road to success. On the road to success, because without you, we wouldn't be where we are. So welcome, welcome. So we are at that threshold that we're kind of waiting for a couple people to join in, and getting that first thumbs up is a big deal. So that's a sign of approval that we're ready to go. Yeah, so about a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, I sat in front of a camera. I was actually driving from work. If you watch my recent vlog, so our style of vlogging hasn't really changed, because a lot of the time that we have to kill, we're driving from work, so we kind of tend to do some vlogs in between that space. So 18 months ago, I sat in front of my camera in my car. I think at the time we were at 226 subscribers, and I made a video about the 5 hardest things about being a new content creator that no one was talking about. And today, so I'm revisiting that video, that topic, not to really kind of cringe at it, not to celebrate how far I've come, but to have an honest conversation about what I would do completely different this time around if I was sitting in that same chair and starting from zero right now in February, on February the 18th, in 2026. So yeah, so before you dive into before we dive into this 5 challenges, um, for all of you beautiful people that are watching, know that if you're starting fresh, I was there a year and a half ago. I was there. I was confused. I was perplexed. I wasn't sure if this thing was working out or if we were going to get to 1,000 subscribers. I was watching other content creators and I was saying, like, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? But as the more that we have learned and we continue to create, it's the more that we have changed our mindset about there's no quitting. There's just strategy moving forward, making sure that we get to where uh, we want to get. So whether you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, whether you're currently in the trenches, or you have been doing this for a while and you're kind of wondering whether this is really worth it. So this live stream is definitely going to hit a point with you, because we have also been in that very same spot. We have questioned about whether this is worth it, whether there's success on these YouTube streets, but we're moving intentionally with that. And so we're coming here, having that conversation, and hoping that you can also be a part of this conversation. So if you're watching live right now, kindly hit that like button, drop a comment, let me know if you're a content creator, what has worked for you, what challenges have you experienced, what wisdom can you impart to your younger self. So this is kind of me. Uh, if I was to go back in time and I'm kind of talking to my younger self 18 months ago, like, hey, you got this, you can do this, keep pushing. So we haven't hit that monetization level yet. We're still chasing watch hours. So part of this journey is that we need your support. And when we ask you to subscribe, subscription or subscribing to our channel is free. It doesn't cost you a thing. What it helps you is you gain from that is that when we drop a new video, when we do a live stream, you get notified that we have new content. So you're going to be the first one to watch, or you're going to be a part of the premiere or part of that conversation as we're moving intentionally. But every time that you like a video, every time that you leave a comment, giving me that encouragement, giving me that power to keep pushing, to keep going. Also, you are also being a part of the the engagement that helps the YouTube algorithm to figure out who is watching our content and what's connecting and what's not connecting, because based on how many views we're getting off a video, YouTube is recommending that video to reach more audience, more people that enjoy this similar content. So as we break down the lessons that we have learned and what we will do if we were starting a YouTube channel right now in 2026, we're also asking you to support us by watching, by liking. And the way that we gain monetization hours or watch hours is that, let's say, if I do a video for 10 minutes, if you watch that video from beginning to end for the whole 10 minutes, so that's going to be 10 minutes out of that whole video. So if 24 more people watch that video, I think we're going to get to 1 hour, because we're talking about 10 minutes and we need how many minutes? I think about 240 minutes to get 1 hour. So if you do that, then you are you have contributed to at least one watch hour. So we need 4,000 of all those watch hours. So we're at the mid mark of hitting that stride. So we're pushing constantly. So every time, even if we're getting 10 views a video, but if you have watched that video from beginning to end, it really, really makes a difference and really, really helps us. And I always say, you don't have to watch all my catalog of videos, because right now, this is probably going to be my 231st video of a live stream that contributes to my total sum of videos that we have already put out on YouTube. So if you watch something that connects with you, you pick a playlist, you watch. You can even binge watch it and leave in the background as you're doing something else. That helps us to gain monetization hours. So we're really, really, really grateful for each and every one of you guys. And if you're a content creator, you're finding this, kindly drop a comment below. And guess what? Since I'm still a small YouTuber, I always comment back. I always reply to each and every comment, because I treasure each and every one of you beautiful people that are supporting me. So I always come back, engage, look at what you have posted, what comment you have left, and I always give a thumbs up. I give it a love. I always comment back. And this is the other thing I do for each and every one of you beautiful people that have subscribed to my channel. I pay it back. I pay it forward. I reciprocate. I'm going to go come to your channel, check out your channel, and I'm also going to hit subscribe, because if you have taken your time, your investment to watch my content, to subscribe to my content, obviously we're doing something right. So I want to pay it back to you and also appreciate you because we're building a community together, being change makers, being storytellers, being moving with intentionality, moving with purpose, because we got to support one another. And as you know, no man is entirely an island by themselves. So yeah, so welcome to today's live stream. So I think recently I did a live stream about failing forward or not being afraid to fail. I think I'm trying to remember that title. It was really all about embracing failure as your greatest teacher. I think in my personal experiences and whatnot, I have learned more from my personal failures more than my successes, because um, yeah. So the more I think about it, and the more that I realize that every single one of those struggles that we talked about early on when we had started our channel. I think it was like 3 weeks after I had started this channel, and I had just left because we launched our channel in Kenya in 2024. We had visited one of the biggest YouTubers in Kenya, and that comes from my home village of Nyabohanse, Kenya. The big travel commando Ayomara. Go check him out. Help get him to 1 million subscribers, and help me get to 5K, and help me get to my 4,000 watch hours at the moment. So go check him out. But I started my channel there on his platform, and then from there we have been growing and growing and growing. So I think it was like 3 weeks after I started the channel that we talked about those struggles that I was already realizing, and every one of them was actually kind of like a failure in disguise if I'm thinking about it. And every single one of them taught me something I couldn't have learned any other way. So if I look back and I'm talking to my younger self, I don't think I would do anything differently. But we're gonna do a setup here where we talk about like if we were studying those lessons that we have learned and how we incorporate them. Like how would I move strategically in 2026 if I'm starting fresh? So we're talking about what I now know and what I would do differently if I started a YouTube channel in 2026. So I hope that you're ready as we get into this. Let me have a sip of water here for a second. So I think one of the first challenges and one of the things, and I'm going to be looking down here because I wrote notes. Let me see if I can get closer. So we wrote notes, and we've been strategic about this growth on YouTube, and figuring out what works and what not, because there is like 1 million videos out there on YouTube that talk about how to scale up your channel, how to level up, on how to succeed. So I'm not going to look down a little bit to remind myself of those 5 key points. Um, uh, but um, but I think one of the first things I think I remembered, even when I started my channel, that I heard a lot of people talk about was finding your niche. Finding your niche and the actual content that you're producing, because your niche is really what your audience is gravitating towards. What if you go to your channel, if you're already a content creator, if you go to your channel and look, you go to your videos and you click the most popular videos, you're gonna see what videos have the most views. Right now, if you go to your analytics and look at how many views you have on certain videos, how much time people engaging in your videos and stuff like that, it kind of tells you what people your audience is watching. It's going to break down who your audience is, where they're watching from, and things of that nature. So that in a way is kind of like your niche, your brand of like what is your content really about. uh, so our channel here at Chachaunlmtd, we're about lifestyle content, travel, and sometimes we dabble a little bit in fitness and do-it-yourself home project, but primarily this is a lifestyle content channel, kind of showing you our day-to-day uh, activities. And I think the way that I describe my channel description, let me just give you that, because I don't remember it verbatim, but I'm looking here. Let me look at my channel description here real quick and remind myself, because once you put that out there it's not in the YouTube verse. Sometimes we create content, we move left and right, left and center, that we sometimes forget that. But when I first started, one of the important things that I was looking at is trying to identify, like, so what is my channel really about? And the way that I described it, and I've come back and revised this a little bit as I've gotten bolder and confident, but I think I actually revised my description at least 3 or 4 times, but I actually went back and put the original description that I had put when I first started the channel, because when you have that conception, you have that freshness that this is why I want to do YouTube. Your ideas are very raw, they're real. That passion, that fire that you have when you're first starting with content creation, that is what you always, sometimes when you're kind of doubting yourself, that is what you kind of have to go back and remind yourself why you started. So for our channel, we let me see here. So for our channel here, as you can see, Chacha Limited here description, we basically we basically describe our channel as So I basically say, hey fam, Karibu, or Karibu is a Swahili word for welcome. And I said, welcome to the channel. And then I say, Doki sharing my blended experiences through the lens of my Kenyan heritage. Each vlog captures moments of culture, connection, and creativity, inspiring you to live boldly, explore deeply, and create intentionally. Then I have my motto saying boldly crossing the line from being a spectator to being a participant. And then I'm urging you to subscribe, like, share, and all that good stuff. So that is one of the very things that I did as to establish the identity of what my channel is. So when we're talking about niche and actual content, I had to think about like what I wanted my channel to be. And for me, I was inspired from watching uh, Ayamara, from watching content creators like Mayugno, watching all the mostly lifestyle village content. That is what really kind of inspired me, because before I even discovered YouTube and what was happening on YouTube and how people were more telling our African stories, I've always been a storyteller in some capacity or not. I actually, in my other life, I was going to be a digital media artist of writing and directing and doing all that those other things, but life just takes a different pace and different tone. So actually right now it's kind of where I'm coming into full circle of actually doing content creation, kind of like fulfilling that dream that of what I wanted to do. That's a story for another day. um, I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but we're talking about content and niche. So all that is to say that I had to discover what style of content I wanted to do, what my niche is going to be, and the actual content. Um, so yeah, 1 second here. So as I'm looking back and thinking about this, and I'm trying to tie in because there's so many different ideas. So those 5 challenges that I talked about, that I'm gonna also kind of talk about how we're moving intentionally, is that the biggest challenges I had was trying to figure out what you as my audience, you as my niche, what kind of content you wanted to watch. Um, because I had traveled to Kenya, I had done some content in Kenya, and then I had moved right back into the US in the diaspora, because this is where I reside. I work 9 to 5, but I also dabble in content creation. So we're moving strategically between finding that work-life balance and whatnot. So I was kind of struggling to figure out like what content is my audience going to connect with? What am I actually going to shoot? My mind just going to walk around with my camera saying, hey guys, here I'm at work, what am I doing? So I had to really think strategically about that. So if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel in 2026, what is it that you want your audience to get from your content? What are you good at? Are you good at cooking? Are you maybe, you're good at being funny, you're an entertainer, you're a comic, and all that. So figuring out that makes you tick and why you want to do content creation is like, how do we and I translate this into actual content? So first is identifying that niche or that audience, and then figuring out how you want to tell that. Um, and a lot of it is like we talked about this when we were talking about failing forward or not being afraid to start or do something. I think we talked about the power. What was it? There was something I wish I could remember. There's a paradox that talks about the paralysis or the fear of starting something, that sometimes people are afraid to start to do something because either the elements have not aligned perfectly. Let's say, for instance, you have someone who wants to be a content creator, but they're procrastinating over and over again. They're saying, oh, I don't have the money to buy the best camera, I don't have the money to do this. But one of the things that I learned from early on is that this phone here that you have, this phone, this is your biggest asset, your biggest um, tool that you have if you want to be a content creator. Instead of you wanting to say, oh, I want to wait until I can get money to buy that big camera. If you're in a village and you have that a simple smartphone that can record videos, even if it records at 720p or 360, as long as it's recording. And also, I think what I'm learning more and more is, and I also really get perplexed or get mad when I record a video and I don't have audio or my sound is muffled, or because I'm like, I have a message to convey and I want to make sure that you as the audience are able to hear my message and you can relate. So one of the things is that even you have one of the cheapest phones, is like, make sure that when you're recording, at least people can hear you and that you sound. Test first before you start recording, because I have made many mistakes that I just hit my camera and start recording, and then I realized I didn't check the settings. I've done this so many times. Even in my last video, I didn't realize that sometimes if your camera is on and you put it in your pocket, even your phone, and it's not turned on, it can if it's on the recording or camera setting, it can switch to photo. You can switch to different settings. So always make sure that you double check what your settings are on whatever recording device you are. Make sure that you test to make sure that your audio is all the way up on the phone, to make sure that you're good, because I've learned that mistake from my live streams also, that we've done a live stream and then we go back and realize like, oh, we were missing audio, or I've had to stop audio live streams when I don't have audio, because I want to make sure that you as our beautiful subscribers hear the message and you're able to engage and you're able to understand and be part of the the vlog, because at the end of the day we are here to one, entertain, help you learn something, connect with us, and help us build our community. So we don't just want to show up and just spew nonsense and then we move on like we did content. No. For us, we're being strategic about what content we're connecting you with. So this ties into, if you're starting a YouTube channel in 2026, make sure you identify your audience. Make sure that your make sure that your content is clear and audible, and also don't be afraid to start. Use your phone, use whatever device that you have to get started, because time waits for no man. So if you sit on the sidelines, keep saying, oh, I don't have this, I'm going to wait and do that, the time is moving by and time waits for no man. So yeah. So don't burn too much energy trying to overthink it. So just do it. And one of the earliest things that I learned from early on from even Ayamara is, don't worry too much how perfect, how the quality of that video is. Even if you start and it's not audible, just post it. Because there's a lot of people that are worried too much about like, it needs to be perfect and whatnot. No, just go ahead and post it, and don't be afraid to do it. Um, don't be afraid to do it, because once you contemplate or you procrastinate, then that's also not good for you. So I think what I also kind of know now about niche and everything else is that niche doesn't come before the content. Your niche is going to emerge after you start creating content. So it's not like you're going to say, oh, this is what you can start to do lifestyle vlogs, and then you realize that you do a cooking video, maybe your cooking video has more views than any of your other videos. And then you go back and look like, oh, why does my cooking video have more views than this? Well, not. Maybe it's the way that you're communicating your cooking. Maybe it's your cooking style. Maybe it's your editing style that you're putting the whole package together. So then you realize that, oh, I thought that my niche was going to be talking about this, but my cooking video actually did well than any of my other videos. Then you say, maybe this is the niche. And then you try more cooking videos. And then you realize, oh, my cooking videos are getting more hits. Maybe that's your niche. So yeah, so the content doesn't come, so the niche doesn't come before the content. So it's actually when you create the content and you see what's engaging, it's when you're finding that balance between what's being watched, what's not being watched, and whatnot. But at the same time, with building your niche also is like, if you do it consistently. Let's say even if your cooking videos are doing super well and your other videos are not doing well, but if you now change the mindset, is like, okay, maybe I need to do travel videos of lifestyle content that people want to see, because at the end of the day, there is 1,000,001 content creators on YouTube. So folks, our viewers have choices of what they can choose from. So we're in this age of constant doom scrolling on devices, instant gratification. People don't feel like they have the time to sit and watch a whole long 1 hour video. But I think it depends on creating that engaging content that your folks are going to want to watch is also a strategy when you were thinking about how you're going to start that content creation in 2026. Um, so in 2026, just start with a general direction. Don't just think about niches like, oh, this is my niche. Be open minded to different things. Give yourself a runaway. Say 20 videos or so, experiment, pay attention to what's working, and then look at the data from Google Analytics and YouTube to see what's doing well, and also let that guide you. And then and then after a while, maybe you can say this is definitely the niche of the lane that I need to operate on. But as we said, also don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid to fail. As I have said, failure has been my greatest teacher more than any other successes that I've done professionally or anything that I've done. So like I said, don't try to be a perfectionist. Just do it and put it out there. So those videos that you haven't edited well, those videos that look terrible, those videos that don't have the least minimal views, maybe those are the videos that are going to really inform you about what you need to do differently. Um, so let's say if the information you get from a video that has 40 views is more valuable than anything you could have read in a YouTube strategy, because through that you can break it down and see what your audience is really engaging. But anyways, so the message, I guess, what I can say in 2026 is that for anyone watching right now who is still trying to figure out what your niche is, what your audience is, drop a comment in the chat and let me know what you're thinking about creating, and let's talk about it. But don't be afraid to start. Just start, try. And also, when you're starting, it can be a 1 minute video. It can be a 3 minute video. It can be a 10 minute video. It can be a whole hour video. But the key thing is start. The niche is going to come. Don't be too quick to worry about too much about the niche. Yeah, so that was one of the very first challenges that we had talked about in that video 18 months ago. Number one is finding that niche and actual content. So the number two uh, challenge I remember that we talked about is consistency. You hear this over and over again: consistency, 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 consistency. But for me, I think I've broke down this consistency thing in our live stream challenge. Consistency is really about showing up, doing it even when you don't feel like doing it. Every day when you're feeling like, I don't feel like uploading a video, like this month, for the month of February, we have struggled with talking about niche and content. We have struggled with finding content to produce. And like we said, now that we are at that threshold, we're being intentional with what we want to produce for you beautiful people. So with that, I took upon the challenge of coming here every single day, picking a topic and doing a live stream. And I'm finding the live streams are so easy. At least for me, I'm feeling like they're very good. Like sometimes, yes, I do have to think about what I want to talk about, like this topic here today. But I think uh, there is power to live streams, because one, we want to engage with you as our audience. We want to grow with you. We want to hear from you. But also we have the ability that we're streaming in real life. Anything can happen right now. Anything can happen right now. But we're here live. We're doing this right live. so so that's the crazy challenge here with our February live stream challenge. So yeah, so key number two, or the one of the biggest challenges, one of the big the second point that we talked about before. Remember that we are talking about what I now know and what I will do differently if I started YouTube in 2026 as a content creator. And the second thing, challenge, is consistency. So I thought that consistency meant posting on a schedule, like posting and whatnot, because some of the biggest YouTubers and even one of my biggest inspirations, uh, even right now, one of the biggest village YouTubers in Jambo Fam, Kenya, is David Jr., Ayamaru's brother. This dude is a beast. Kudos to you, bro. He's posting 3 to 4 videos a day. and some can differ, whether depending on the different styles and content like that. But to get back to my point, consistency I thought is like posting every single day or posting on a schedule. But consistency actually means something much deeper than that. I think back then was we were struggling trying to think about consistency. I think we were thinking it in like we wanted to maintain a consistent upload schedule, um, which sometimes felt like it was an obligation. And if we did not meet that obligation, we felt like we were failing. Because, like I said, we work a full-time job and we are also doing content creation. So between working a 9 to 5, you finish, you're tired, you're exhausted and whatnot, and you're trying to figure out at 5 o'clock, what content am I going to do? You feel like, I forget about it. But now what we're doing differently is we're realizing that even if time is not on our side, maybe we can do live streams. That's a different way of also staying consistent. Um, so consistency can kind of create pressure, and it feels like if you miss out, you feel like a failure. But remember, we've talked about embrace failure as your best teacher. But being real about the moments that you don't post, being or some videos, you feel like they're not ready to post, because for like someone like me, I usually film and then I edit and then we post. That's how I do my content creation. I'm still trying to find that balance of like, I want to shoot a video right now and I want to take least amount of time to edit and post it. I am not there yet. Uh, that so although we talked about not being perfectionists, we're still struggling a little bit with that, because for me at least, when we talk about creating with purpose, with creativity, with intentionality, we're also trying to make sure that whatever product that we're producing for you, that it is relatable to you, but also its quality. So like I take time to edit my videos, to put the package together so that it's something that you're going to enjoy and also feel like, oh, this is good. So we know that that can be time consuming, but at the same time, we want to be intentional in that fact. So maybe that lags our consistency a little bit in some way, but um yeah, so showing up when you don't feel like doing that video. And consistency doesn't mean posting every day. Consistency means, like, let's say if you tell yourself and you work out your schedule to say, I want to produce 2 videos a week, I want to post 3 videos a week, I want to do 1 live stream a week. If you set that schedule, this is your consistency, because you have people that maybe they post a video every other month here and there, but you have people that are posting videos every single day. So you got to find your equilibrium, that perfect setup of what consistency looks like. You got to define it for yourself. So if you are setting a goal to say, I want to grow as a content creator and I want to post 2 videos out a week, or maybe you tell your audience that you want to post 1 video a week. If you hold yourself accountable to that, then that's your consistency. Showing up, posting that. Yeah. And consistency is just about trust. Trusting that you're building your audience, and more importantly, trusting yourself. Trusting yourself in the stories that you want to tell. Like every time that you show up and you didn't feel like it, you prove to yourself or someone else who was watching your audience that, hey, I'm here and I want you to support me. So that's your consistency. Yeah, and let's stop worrying about perfecting those videos, because it's just not everything is going to be perfect at every single time. Yeah, let's take a beat here for a second. And if you're joining us, welcome. I'm a Kenyan YouTuber here in small town Virginia. Today we're dissecting what do we know now about content creation, and also empowering you that if you're starting a YouTube channel, this is how you can approach content creation. So for me, this is what I would do differently now that we kind of have a little bit of say and we're kind of revisiting a video that we did 3 weeks after we had done content creation, which I'm going to tag in the tags or the end tags after this live stream has already uploaded and premiered. So typically what happens is that after you do a live stream, it takes about 24 hours depending on the internet speed from what device you were broadcasting your live stream from for that video to fully upload. Um, so yeah, so we will do all the nitty gritty necessary. So welcome if you're tuning in after we have already live streamed this. I'm a Kenyan YouTuber here in small town Virginia, bridging my Kenyan heritage with my hybrid American lifestyle here in small town Virginia, here in the diaspora. We're talking about diaspora stories, we're talking about content creation, we're talking about moving with intentionality, moving with purpose, and growing here on these YouTube streets. And we were kind of hitting on our second point of consistency, and was kind of sharing that don't think that consistency is about being perfect. Uh, Perfect is just fear wearing a disguise. Oh, that word came to me. You remember I was struggling to figure out when we're talking about like you need to have everything aligned together for you to start to do something. So that is actually called the starting line paradox. That is the word that was escaping my brain. I was like, what is that? The starting line paradox. So sometimes, like I told you earlier on, that I usually take notes and usually will not. But I was trying to find it, and I finally just like, oh, it's right here. It is the starting line paradox. So it's like the longer that you wait to start something, the more reasons you're gonna find discouraging you not to start. So the only way to move through it is just push through. Don't overthink it. Don't procrastinate. Just go ahead and do it. So this is called the starting line paradox. So to tie all that in with 2026, if you're starting a channel, uh, give yourself a realistic schedule that you can keep, even if it means that, like I said, your consistency can be one video a week, can be 2 videos a week. Just work with what you got. Just as long as you set your consistency and you write it down and you commit to it and you hold yourself accountable to that, then you're already doing consistency. Uh, yeah. So just commit to posting whether you feel like it. And it's really about progress over perfection. And it also takes time. They say Rome was not built in a day. So for me, I think every video that I have posted that has underperformed, that has got 10 views or 3 views, it's taught me something. It's taught me something, and I'm also appreciative that at least somebody came and watched that video. So yeah, so don't be afraid to post content because you're not getting any views. Just keep posting and let those imperfect videos help you to learn from your mistake and stuff like that. Mistakes are the secret sauce that helps you to keep growing, to keep being consistent, and whatnot. So with that, we're going to move on to point number 3. So we've talked about a niche, and we've talked about consistency. Now we're going to move on to point 3, and this is trying to find that that time management thing over the work-life balance. Well, time management is one of my biggest struggles. So you can be short on time, but you cannot be short on intention. Uh, so because now we're moving with intentionality, we're being intentional with everything that we're doing and strategic. We're finding a reason and we're finding meaning to what we're doing. So back at that time when we were talking about it, we were complaining too much about we don't really have time to film. I'm working 9 to 5, and then the struggle with the editing, and trying to figure out what you guys are watching or researching. And it kind of felt like it was a very impossible task. Uh, just kind of like, I think they usually say that you felt like you robbed Peter to pay Paul. So that work-life balance wasn't working out. But what I can say is that when you commit to doing something, and you really have to push yourself, because at the end of the day, like I said, you go back to the reason why you wanted to be a content creator, why you started that YouTube channel. I kind of told you guys about my YouTube channel description, reminding myself, like, what is it that I want to connect with my audience? And I think from early on, someone, one of you beautiful people, beautiful subscribers, had challenged me that what did I want my audience to get from my content? Why should they come back and watch my content? So that question took me back, and I had to really dig deep and search deeply to understand, or to tell myself, like, what is the intentionality behind my content? Am I creating this so I can make money? We're not making any money, and we've been at this for 18 months. We're not making any money. But is what is it that drives you to keep showing up still and keep creating content and whatnot? It is really when you fall in love with something, when you have that passion, when you're giving away your weekends to go find content to keep shooting, uh, and sacrificing some things, then it definitely feels like that's how you're going to find that balance of whatnot. So, but it takes time. It takes time for you to kind of find that work-life balance, especially if you have a family, if you have a demanding job, or you have this and that. It's different for people that they have put a full commitment on YouTube and they don't have anything else except it. So them, I think at least what that makes a difference is that it helps them to grow quickly, because they're able to promote and put videos out more quickly than if you are working a 9 to 5 job, and then this becomes like a side hustle that you're still doing and whatnot. Um, Excuse me here for a second. Let me grab a sip of water, and then we're going to continue. So I think, yes, time can be a limited resource, but I think it's really protecting your time. Let's say setting aside and scheduling time to say, this is when I'm going to create my content, this is when I'm going to edit, and also kind of saying, if you have a family, like, this is what time I'm going to spend with my family, because you also have to protect what you already have. You cannot fully have content creation on YouTube consume everything else you're doing, because if you neglect one area, then you're lacking consistency. If you apply consistency in content creation but lack consistency with everything else that you do in life, then those other aspects are going to fail. So you kind of have to figure out how to allocate time for content creation, to say, this is when I'm going to do this and that. Like, for instance, like if I'm working at work, every time I'm walking in, I'm looking at my schedule, I'm looking at my calendar, I'm looking at the meetings that I have, I'm looking at the time that I'm setting to either schedule work for next day, organizing and planning and all those things. Because if you don't block your time, your creative time, which is your time to create, time to edit, time to do that, you're going to fall behind, and you're not going to be able to keep up with the consistency. And it's going to feel overwhelmed, and then likely at some point you're going to say, I don't want to do this. um, so one of the things that I learned, especially when I was in Kenya, is filming, batch filming, or finding content. And like, you can one day you can even film a bunch of different videos depending on what your niche or your content is. And then when you have several videos or several content, then you can go back and block a time frame and edit those videos, and then you can schedule those videos out in advance on YouTube. That's a good thing. So if you're thinking about strategy, like, let's say if you only have a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and if you don't have any other responsibilities, you plan your content, you think about what you're going to shoot, you shoot them, you edit them, you schedule those videos out. You could easily do that depending on what your niche is. So that's just another way of thinking differently when we're thinking about how to balance that work-life balance. I don't think there is a perfect formula for each and every one of us. We have different things going on, but we kind of have to protect that sacred time between creative content creation time and time for family, time for other things, time for your hobbies, because also if you don't take care of yourself, then you're going to end up burning out or feeling like this is not worth it, and whatnot. So treating your that creative time kind of like an appointment that you're setting for something specific, and then holding yourself accountable to that. um, yeah, and then when you kind of film several videos ahead, if it gives you a buffer that you don't have to constantly be rushing to say, oh, I need to do this and whatnot so that I can have a video out. But just remember that disruptions, life happens, and like we always say, Murphy's law. If anything is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Even when you're filming content, you could have the perfect setup, the perfect video, but maybe that video is gonna lack audio and whatnot. But the key is to still move with intentionality and shoot and keep going. So if you're joining us for the first time, kindly give this video, our live stream, a like. We are talking about if we were to start content creation in 2026, what would we do differently? And I'm kind of tying that in with a video that I did when I was first fresh on YouTube. I had talked about 5 challenges that I faced as a new content creator. So I'm kind of revisiting that and tying that in with where we are now. When we did this video 18 months ago, I was at 226 subscribers. As we speak of, today is February 18th of 2026. We are at 1,000 subscribers. So we have definitely moved the needle. So we're kind of revisiting this to kind of give you motivation as a small content creator. Maybe if you're not a content creator, you're a viewer watching this and you're struggling in some aspect of your life. So we're kind of encouraging, empowering you to remember that sometimes failure is your best teacher. Uh, when we're talking about the starting line paradox of that fear of that paralysis of always trying to make sure that you have the perfect ingredients, the perfect elements to start something, you got to take that out of the equation and just start and do it, even if it's imperfect, even if it's not the best, even if your video is it doesn't look that great. Shoot it, post it, and then learn from it, and embrace those mistakes, those challenges, and fail forward, because failure is a part of the success and whatnot. But yeah, so if you're a small content creator or you're new here, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know where you are watching from. What struggles have you struggled with in content creation? How can you apply some of the tips that we're sharing here about content creation and spread that around like a secret sauce in your own personal life, be it professional work, be it a project that you're working on, and so forth. But also, this is an opportunity for you to engage with us, to learn more about us. So if you've been dying to ask me a question and you're here live, this is your moment. Don't be afraid. Let's have a conversation. So when we did the video 18 months ago about the 5 challenges that we were facing as our new YouTube creators, the fourth point that we mentioned was filming and editing. And I kind of talked a little bit about that in the last point, that uh, that I was struggling to find content to shoot, but also struggling to find that work-life balance because I edit my videos and I was taking a lot of time editing. But I think I've gotten faster with my editing, that I don't overthink it. I don't want that perfection too much, like we were talking about it. But also what I mentioned about it and what I've learned also as a storyteller, and the more that you get better, sometimes even when you're shooting a video, and I talk this with people that don't edit their videos. A lot of the content creation creators, especially in the village, when they're shooting, they shoot with to only do minimal edits and release their videos. That's how they're able to release like 2-3 videos a day, because when they're shooting, they're releasing everything raw. So someone is shooting with the intentionality, like, okay, if something happens in the video, they kind of make up a note or mental note that, oh, I need to edit that, I need to take that out. And sometimes they release that out there. So what I learned also when I'm shooting my videos, I'm shooting with the mindset of like, how am I going to tell this story? What do I want this story to be? So I shoot and also at the same time thinking, how am I going to edit? What is it, the story that I want to tell? So as I said back then, when we started, editing felt like it was a very overwhelming task. And it still is, it can be sometimes because we strive to have quality production for you beautiful people. So figuring out the best software, because also the best software, the software that you use to editing can either make or break you. For me, I'm not promoting any specific editing software, but I use one that I feel like it's very seamless. It helps me because I rely a lot on transitions. I rely a lot on graphics. I rely on putting music in my videos. So one of the softwares I found allows me to easily do that. Some softwares I feel like, what the heck am I doing? It's like I have to go on YouTube, find a tutorial, learn how to edit or how to do something, and I feel like I don't have time for that. I want something that I can easily look, figure out the input, figure out how to put the story together and move on. So finding that right software can either make or break you and can help you to to make your content creation journey super super easy. So me, I'm not gonna name drop here because I'm not endorsing nothing and I'm not getting paid for many of these softwares. But maybe if we get to that point and we are able to level up promoting a certain software, then we can definitely drop names. But at this point, there's no point of me saying this is the software I use because each person finds what works for them. So if I say Adobe Premiere works for me, if I say CapCut works for me, if I say Apple or Final Cut works for me, someone else might say, no, I like DaVinci Code or I like, what is it? So, whatever software you use, there's so many out there. In short or whatever. So there's so many out there. So I don't want to name drop any specific ones, which I've already done, but I didn't say which one I use. And whatnot. So the software that you choose is also important. For me, as I said, I like transitions. I like to use audio. And I also want to produce high quality videos that are engaging for you guys to watch and also enjoy and whatnot. But also, depending on the software that you use, sometimes some software also relies on internet. So make sure that whichever software you use is either one that if you gotta have, if it needs you to have internet, make sure that you have internet. Because if you add it with a software that it needs internet, if you don't have that internet and you add it, if you actually process that video, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna find that your video glitched or your video looks horribly wrong, which is a lesson that I've had to learn on so many occasions. But the software that you use, make sure that you do your research and whatnot, what works best for you and what's compatible for you. Yeah. And also, when it comes to filming and editing, like when I use my phone, like I said before, my phone is probably my best asset, my best camera, my best anything to edit. Um, I have also had to invest in portable storage devices, like for storing and backing up my media. And I've tried to do what I've tried to do is to save every raw footage of every video that I have produced and whatnot. And have realized that that is a very expensive endeavor because if I have videos that I'm shooting and I'm storing them in a backup device because I can't store them on my computer. My computer has very low memory and it's gonna fill up pretty quickly. Even when I shoot with my phone, sooner or later that phone is gonna fill up and then I can't use it no more. So I have to figure out a way of transferring videos. So you have to decide whether you still want to save your footage that you're recording or whether you just want to release it out there in the universe and forget about ever having a backup. So that's also something you have to think about with editing. What the other thing I've learned about, like if you have a portable storage device, you can connect it to your computer when you're editing, and you can actually edit from that portable drive, which then doesn't take up space on your computer. But those are the technical things that I don't think we really need to get into as we're talking about editing. But I think one of the key things about editing is that just finding that balance and that sweet time and dedicating your time, your sweet time to edit, and making sure that whatever software that you invest in meets your needs as a storyteller and whatnot. But just be ready that uh, technical disasters can happen, and sometimes I've had to release a video because that was messed up because of one thing or another. But I was like, I don't have the time to go back and sit and re-edit this video again and spend time again to fix ABCD. So I've released videos that were either something had gone wrong with the editing, or after I had exported or processed the video, it wasn't what I wanted to be, but I released it because I had no choice. Because when we're talking about consistency and all the other key ingredients, it's like you're pushing yourself and whatnot to get that video out. So yeah, so don't be afraid to shoot. Shoot. When you're shooting, think about what story you're going to tell, whether you're going to edit it or whether you're going to release it raw the way it is. But yeah, that's what I can say about editing. Everyone figures out their own style and what works for them. What works for me is probably not going to work for you. But I'm curious, for you, what has been the most painful editing or filming mistake that you have made? I'm very curious. I'm always very curious to know how other people edit and how they tell their stories. But what I would like to be better at as I grow as a content creator is to be a fast editor. But also I spend a lot of time editing so that our videos are high quality and that you guys can engage pretty well with them. So that's our fourth point. So we talked about now point one, number one is actually finding the actual content and your niche. Point number two is consistency. Point number three is, what was point number three? What was point number three? Because I think we just touched base on point number four. Point number three, oh, time management. Okay. So niche, consistency, time management. Then number four is goodness. I'm forgetting finding, the filming and editing. So then we move to our sweet spot. Point number five. This is we were talking about this the other day. We're talking about what was the title of the video? It was the title of the live stream. I think we were talking about motivation versus discipline. I think we said motivation is what help, like when you start something, what makes you start or what helps you to start to do something. And then discipline is what motivates you to keep showing up and doing it even when you're tired, when no one is there, when no one is paying attention to what you're doing. We kind of tie that in a little bit into integrity, but motivation, that fine line between feeling like I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, so motivation is a key big factor. And what I would say is I think sometimes we kind of try to look for motivation in all the wrong places because our views, our numbers are down, and no one is watching our videos, and then you feel like, why am I doing this? As I've said before, remind yourself, what was the catalyst that propelled you, that told you that made you feel like, you know what, I want to start a YouTube? What was that first light, that matchbox when you lit it? What was that original idea? For me, I kind of connected it to finding my original channel description. That fire, that zest that drove me to want to be a content creator. Reminding myself of that. Because back then, even when we're having less than 10 views on something that you poured your heart into, you felt like, man, this video is going to do so well. It's going to get me 1,000 views. And then you post it a week later, you have 5 views. A month later, Nothing. You go back and then you say, huh, was it my title? Was it my thumbnail? Was it the hashtag? Was it the tags I used? Do I need to change the title? Do I need to do this and that? So you're questioning yourself and you're asking yourself. But I think one of the things that we say that on these YouTube streets, YouTube is not easy. One or two things are going to happen. You're either going to get discovered by the algorithm and your video is going to go viral. Either you're going to get a shout out from somebody, or you're going to grow organically, slowly, one vlog, one view at a time until you make it. So there's no shortcuts to success, and that's what we keep repeating. There's no shortcuts to success, and sometimes that motivation can be very demoralizing because you feel like, why am I doing this? But I think the key is just to keep moving, to keep reminding yourself why you want to do it. What is that original thought? What is that thing, that fire that you really, that tells you like, you know what, if I don't do this, then I don't want to do this at all. That's the secret sauce right there. That's the secret sauce right there, my beautiful people. 1 second. And when we were talking about the paradox of the starting line paradox, or even the other day we were talking about we're in the middle of the month, and we talked about the gap between starting and quitting and all that stuff. Is like when you reach that time that you feel like, oh, this is working or this is not working, you just got to remind yourself, why did I want to do this? What is the reason why I want to create content? Why am I showing up every single day? That's what you're going to remind yourself. That external validations, the views, the likes, the subscribers, the comments, they can be inconsistent, they can be minimal. And like I said, the algorithm can sometimes favor you or might not favor you. But remind yourself why you started creating and don't forget about that and keep pushing. Because that consistency is what's going to determine the outcome. And the creators that last and then make it are the ones who are still making content 5-10 years in, even if they have minimal views. You have, like I say, having that internal reason, that drive, that passion that doesn't depend on numbers, but sometimes maybe you're in love with the craft. Maybe it's because of the community that you have built. Like here, we now have 1,000 subscribers. That is a motivation for us to still keep show up, to still keep creating content, because we know that at least somebody's watching. Yeah. So it might be that creating is how your viewers process the word, but you gotta remind yourself why. Why did I start this journey? Why am I here? Why am I creating? And you keep pushing. That's the motivation. So for us, we chased 1,000 subscribers for 18 months, and we just achieved it this month. This month, yes. And now that we have it, we're talking about leveling up, helping you guys, helping us to get our watch hours so that we can reach the monetization journey. It feels great that we have it, but it doesn't feel like we have made it. We still have a fire, we have a passion. We want to reach 5K, we want to hit 10K, we want to hit 100K. We want to grow and grow and keep getting better at the stories that we're producing and telling for you guys. We don't care about the algorithm. And so if you are starting your channel now in 2026, start small. Ask yourself why you want to do this. Do you want to be famous? Do you want to make money? And think about the real reason why you're starting your content. And then start, show up, whether there are views or not, just keep posting, just keep doing it. And if you fail, then Learn from that failure. So this is what I believe. Hard work plus persistency plus embracing the failures. Okay, let me try to rephrase that. Hard work plus persistence plus embracing failure equals your full potential unlocked. I hope that makes sense. So I didn't understand that when I made that first video. I thought failure was the opposite of success. Now that I know the path to getting there, every challenge I have walked through, the confusion with finding my niche, the inconsistency with posting videos, the struggle with finding time and the balance to film and edit videos, the edits that didn't work, the low views, every one of those single failures taught me something. They taught me something that I needed to know. The only real failure would have been if I stopped creating. The only real failure would have been if I stopped creating. But through all those challenges, we're still showing up. We're still creating. We're still learning. And here we are at the 1,000 subscribers journey, mile mark, and we're still getting there. We're still getting there. So hold on for a second. Yeah. So in 2026, just remember that there are over 1 billion content creators on YouTube, and you're just one among all those thousands and billions. Folks have a choice to choose what they want to watch. And also you as the audience, if you're very selective in what you're watching, but we ask of you to keep supporting us, to keep helping us to grow. So be consistent, be authentic. A lot of times people are trying to copy so-and-so, they're trying to be this and that. But what I've learned on these YouTube streets is being authentic to my true voice, to building my community, to getting my point across, and also to be genuine to my audience and to be able to connect with them. Because when you're honest, when you're genuine, and you are moving with intentionality and purpose, your community is going to grow. Excuse me. But if you're about chasing that quick clickbait video or whatever is trending or whatever is happening, or trying to compare yourself, it's like, oh, look what so-and-so is doing, then you're going to miss your mark, you're going to miss your point. So find your niche. Show up and do what you say you're going to do with consistency. Learn from your failures, learn from your mistakes. Find the time to create your content, time to edit, but don't let that consume you in every aspect of that. When you're getting those low views, still remain motivated and still show up and keep creating, and you're gonna grow. One day, one vlog at a time. Yeah. So the hardest part and the most difficult work is being afraid. But don't be afraid of that fear. Don't be afraid of failure. Embrace failure and let failure be your perfect teacher. Don't try to be perfect. Just embrace the imperfections, embrace the mistakes, and keep pushing. Right? So those are the 5 challenges that we talked about 18 months ago that we're tying into how, if I was a content creator, how I would start a YouTube channel and how would I grow. I would identify my niche. I would be consistent with showing up. I would embrace failure. I would make sure that I manage my time wisely. I'll make sure that I create and edit no matter what happens, and I'll still keep showing up even if I have low views. Because they say 1,000 miles journey begins but with a single step. Right. So for us, we've reached 1,000 subscribers, but our next mountain, as I mentioned, is getting the watch hours for monetization. And part of my daily live stream challenge of showing up every single day and doing a live stream is part of my strategy to gain watch hours. So the more that I do these live streams, I'm hoping that you folks are going to watch our live streams from beginning to end and help us to gain the watch hours that we need on the road to success. And we are applying this as a secret sauce with that key to consistency of showing up and doing it even if we don't feel like it. Right now it is 11:33 p.m., almost midnight, and I have to be up at 4 in the morning to get ready for work, but I'm still here. I'm still here showing up and being intentional, being strategic, because I know that this YouTube journey is not easy. You have to send yourself or tunajituma. In Swahili, you say we have to send ourselves tunajituma, because if we don't, no one is going to do it for us. We have to be the one that have to do it. So we're being strategic and changing the mindset about what we have to do and showing up and hoping that you as our audience are also going to grow with us, are going to support us. And like we said, we urge you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us to grow on the road to success. So we have been live now for 76 minutes. That's an hour and 16 minutes. Wow. So as I think about this and wrapping this up so that we can get some sleep. So to the person that hasn't started, or to the person that is thinking about starting a YouTube journey and how you're going to do this intentionally in 2026, is stop waiting to feel like you're ready. You're never going to be ready. You just need to start anyhow or anyway. The version of you that figures it out exists on the other side of beginning, not before it. So the more that you overthink it, the more that you procrastinate, it's not going to happen. This is where you see the Nike tick saying, just do it. Don't overthink it, just do it. So if you're already a content creator, you've been in the trenches, you're trying to do this, you're not sure if it's working out. So I can assure you that what you're going through right now is not evidence that you're failing. It's evidence that you are in it. That you gotta keep going, that you gotta keep showing up. So the people that make it aren't the ones who never struggled. They're the ones that kept showing up anyway. Right? And if you, just like me, have been at this for a while and you're questioning it, thinking about throwing in the towel, thinking about quitting, just remind yourself why you started this. Go back to your why. Not your goals, but your why. If it's still the same, if it still feels real, then it's still worth it. Just adjust your strategy, not the commitment. Adjust your strategy. What are you doing right and what are you not doing right? Use Google Analytics to analyze, to see what's working and what not. But YouTube is not an easy journey. It's a difficult journey. The folks that have made it will tell you that it took them 10 years to even get to 500 subscribers. And for us, 18 months ago, we were 226 subscribers, and now we have hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. So you see that it takes a while, but if we had thrown in the towel and quit, then uh, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be doing this video. So we always say that like our videos, subscribe, share, and whatnot. But I really want to hear from you. What is the biggest challenge right now as a creator for you? Just drop it in the comment section. I'm a small YouTuber. If you're watching this after the live stream, drop it in the comment section. And I reply to each and every comment. I also reciprocate and I subscribe back to all my subscribers that are giving me the time. So we read each and every comment, we respond to it, and if I have not, hold me to task to that. But I assure you that if you have ever left a comment on my channel, unless it was one that I wasn't, did not feel like it was appropriate, then I did not respond to it, or it was deleted, but otherwise I respond to each and every one of your comments. So just remember that and if there's enough to work with, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking about something else. Yeah, I'm thinking about something else. But anyways, as we are wrapping up, I think just remind yourself, as a content creator, the journey isn't over. The journey is just entering another chapter, and we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're still showing up and supporting us. We appreciate you, beautiful people, for tuning in. And this maybe might not resonate with everybody, but this is mostly for our content creators, our community, but also it's the secret sauce to do to everything else that we do in life. So it's late. It is almost midnight. I need to go get some sleep. You see I'm dozing off. so don't, if you see me closing my eyes, it's probably because I'm super exhausted. It's already almost midnight, but we're still here. We're still showing up. We're being consistent with our content creation. This is part of our daily live stream challenge for this month of February. And I'm super, super grateful to each and every one of you guys. So we have been here for now 82 minutes. Let's go ahead and get some sleep, and then we'll catch you guys in the next live stream. But to our small creators, keep pushing, keep growing, be consistent, find your niche, find the time management to balance that equation, keep showing up, fail forward, don't let that failure paralyze you. If you haven't started yet, just go ahead and start. Don't overthink it. You don't need the perfect equipment. And start and keep posting. Forget about the minimal views. Just keep going. These YouTube streets are rough, but we are going to make it together. One vlog, one live stream, one viewer at a time. So thank you. I love you, beautiful people. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We'll see you in our next live stream tomorrow. Kindly like, share, subscribe, drop a comment below. If you are coming and watching and you haven't considered subscribing, it doesn't cost you a thing. Subscribing is free. That is how you help support this channel as we grow with intentionality, with purpose on the road to success. So thank you. We'll see you in our next live stream. Peace, love, God bless. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good evening. And see you next time.